When the lights are off, when nobody is watching, when the world is asleep, that's when champions are built. It's not the big moments on stage, it's not the applause, it's not the trophies that make you. Champions are made in the lonely grind, in the silence, in the unseen hours of pain and sacrifice. Because here's the truth, success doesn't come from what you do when everyone is cheering. Success comes from what you do when nobody is looking. When it's dark and cold, will you still show up? When your body aches, will you still push harder? When nobody claps for you, will you still stay committed? That's the difference between average and greatness. The gym at 5 a.m., the extra reps when you're already spent, the discipline to say no to comfort and yes to pain, that's where champions are born. Every sweat, every rep, every sacrifice, unseen, uncelebrated, that's the investment you make in yourself. And one day, the world will see the results. One day, the lights will turn on and they'll call you unstoppable, but it all started in the dark, so stop waiting for approval, stop waiting for motivation. Stop waiting for somebody to notice. Build yourself in silence. Work while they sleep. Train while they rest. Grind while they party. And when it's time, the results will speak louder than any words ever could. The dark is where you're forged. The dark is where the real work happens. The dark is the place no one sees, no one celebrates, no one even cares about, but that's where greatness is built. Champions aren't made under bright lights or with cameras rolling. They're made in silence, when there's nothing but you, your grind, and your commitment to the vision you carry inside. When the gym is empty, when the streets are quiet, when everyone else is asleep, that's when champions rise. The world thinks it's the stage that makes a winner, but the truth is this: the stage only reveals what you've already built in the dark. Think about it. Nobody applauds when you set your alarm for 4:30 a.m. Nobody cheers when you lace up your shoes and drag your tired body into the gym while it's still pitch black outside. Nobody congratulates you when you choose a protein-packed meal instead of junk food. But that's the work, that's the grind, that's the difference. Champions are forged in moments when nobody's watching, because that's when discipline is tested. It's easy to give your all when there's a crowd. It's easy to go hard when people are filming you, but in the dark, it's just you and your excuses, and only one is going to win. The dark strips away the noise. There are no likes, no followers, no validation. Just sweat, silence, and the sound of your heartbeat. That's where you find out who you really are. Do you fold when it gets hard, or do you fight harder? Do you quit when it's lonely, or do you remind yourself that pain is temporary, but greatness is forever? The truth is, most people run from the dark. They want comfort, attention, recognition. They want the glory, but not the grind. That's why most people stay average, because average is built in comfort, but champions are built in the shadows. When you commit to the dark, you learn to love the grind for what it is. You stop chasing validation and start chasing transformation. You stop doing it for applause and start doing it because you promised yourself you wouldn't quit. That's the shift, that's the mentality that separates the few from the many. Picture this: you're standing alone in the gym, lights dimmed, nobody around, sweat dripping off your face, your muscles ache. Your mind tells you to stop, but instead of quitting, you dig deeper. You push one more rep. You hold that bar 1 second longer. You do the thing nobody will ever see, that invisible rep. That's the rep that makes you a champion. That's the rep that breaks the wall of mediocrity. You see, champions don't fall in love with the results. They fall in love with the process. They find meaning in the pain, in the sweat, in the discipline. They know that the dark is where their future is written, long before the spotlight ever touches them, and when the time finally comes, when the lights turn on and the world is watching, you won't need to fake it. You won't need to prove anything, because the proof will already be written in your body, in your strength, in your results. The dark is where you're forged. The dark is where you build the version of yourself that the world can't ignore. So don't run from it. Embrace it. Go to war in the silence. Put in the hours that no one else is willing to. Sweat in the shadows. Bleed in the grind. Suffer in silence. Because one day, the lights will come on, and when they do, the world will finally meet the champion you built in the dark. Discipline in the silence when everything is quiet, when nobody's calling your name, when there's no applause, no recognition. That's where discipline either lives or dies. Motivation is loud. Discipline is silent. Motivation gets you hyped when the music is blasting, when the crowd is cheering, when your favorite song is on repeat. But discipline is what gets you out of bed when the alarm rings at 5 a.m. and your body begs you to hit snooze. Discipline is what drags you to the gym in the rain, in the cold, when nobody would blame you for skipping. Discipline is what keeps you on track when nobody's checking, when nobody's watching. The silence doesn't lie. It doesn't care about your excuses, your feelings, or your comfort. It just asks you one question: will you show up? And every time you do, every time you honor that promise, you add another brick to the foundation of your future self. Most people fail not because they lack talent, but because they lack discipline. They wait for motivation to show up like it's a friend who's always late. They depend on feeling ready. But here's the truth: you'll never always feel ready. The weights won't lift themselves. The miles won't run themselves. The transformation you want won't happen unless you put in the work, especially when you don't feel like it. Discipline is what separates the dreamers from the doers. Everybody talks about what they want. Everybody says they'll start Monday. Everybody says they're chasing greatness. But only a handful back up their words with daily action. Why? Because discipline isn't glamorous. It's not flashy. It's repetitive. It's boring. It's lonely. It's saying no to comfort and yes to the grind over and over again. But here's the power. Discipline compounds. Every small act of consistency builds momentum. Every time you choose the gym over the couch, clean food over junk, one more rep over quitting, you stack up wins that nobody sees, and over time, those silent victories add up to massive transformation. Think about it like this: champions are sculptors. The body, the mind, the future you want, it's all clay. Motivation might pick up the chisel for a day, but discipline is what carves masterpiece after masterpiece. Day in, day out, stroke after stroke, rep after rep, that's how greatness is carved from nothing. And here's the beautiful thing about discipline: it's not about being perfect, it's about refusing to quit. It's about showing up even when you mess up. It's about saying, "I'll do it again tomorrow," instead of giving up because you slipped today. That's how real champions are made, through relentless, imperfect discipline. In the silence, discipline builds something deeper than strength. It builds character. It teaches you to trust yourself, because when you say, "I'll wake up at 5 a.m.," and you actually do it, you prove to yourself that your word means something. And when you prove that over and over again, you create unshakable confidence. That's power. Discipline is also contagious. When you live with it, people notice. They might not see the late nights, the early mornings, the sweat in the dark, but they'll see the results. And when they ask, "How did you do it?" you'll know the answer: "I built it in silence. I built it with discipline." So stop waiting for motivation. Stop waiting for the perfect time, the perfect mood, the perfect song. It doesn't exist. What exists is your decision to show up right now, no matter what. Every rep you do in silence, every mile you run in the dark, every disciplined choice you make when nobody notices, that's the brickwork of your championship. That's the DNA of greatness. Pain becomes power. Pain is the price you pay for greatness. It's the toll the universe charges for every ounce of strength, every drop of progress, every victory worth holding onto. And here's the truth: if you're not willing to hurt, you're not willing to win. Champions don't run from pain, they run into it. They understand that pain isn't punishment, it's preparation. Every sore muscle, every aching joint, every bead of sweat rolling down your face, It's your body breaking barriers, your mind sharpening its edge, your spirit growing tougher than steel. Pain is the forge, and you are the iron. When you step into the gym and push your body to its limit, the pain whispers, "Stop, quit, take it easy." But in that exact moment, you get a choice: fold under pressure like the average, or rise above it like the relentless. Every time you push through, you transform pain into power. Think about it. Growth never comes from comfort. Nobody ever built a championship physique by staying cozy. Nobody ever became a legend by skipping the grind. Champions are created when they take the discomfort, the exhaustion, the sacrifice, and turn it into fuel. That pain you feel now, that's progress being written into your muscles, etched into your character, tattooed into your spirit. Pain also humbles you. It reminds you that greatness isn't free. It forces you to respect the process, to understand that nothing worth having comes easy. And while the weak avoid pain, the strong embrace it. They see it as a teacher, because pain doesn't lie. It tells you exactly where your limits are, and then dares you to push past them. Here's the beauty of it: once you learn to love the pain, you become unstoppable. What used to scare you becomes your fuel. What used to break you becomes your strength. Suddenly, failure isn't the end, it's just feedback. A sore body isn't weakness, it's proof you showed up. The burn in your muscles isn't punishment, it's confirmation that you're alive, that you're growing, that you're moving closer to the champion you're meant to be. Think about your idols, the greats, the legends. Do you think they got where they are by avoiding pain? No. They suffered more than anyone else. They bled in silence, they cried in the shadows, they endured when the world would have quit. And that's why when the lights came on, they were untouchable. Pain will visit everyone, that's guaranteed, but here's the difference. Losers let pain destroy them, winners let pain build them. You have to decide: are you going to let pain control your story, or are you going to use it as fuel to rewrite your destiny? In the gym, pain is your signal that you're alive, that you're working, that you're leveling up. Every rep that hurts is a seed being planted for future strength. Every drop of sweat is proof of your hunger. Every scar, every tear, every ounce of fatigue is an investment that will pay dividends when it's time to perform. Remember this: comfort is temporary, pain is temporary, but the power you gain from pushing through it, that's permanent. That's what makes you dangerous. That's what makes you a champion. So the next time pain knocks on your door, don't run. Open it wide, invite it in, train with it, sweat with it, grow with it. Because champions are not defined by how they feel. They are defined by how they respond when pain comes. Discipline defines destiny. Discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Talent can give you a head start. Motivation can spark the fire, but it's discipline that keeps the flame burning when the excitement fades. Discipline is what separates the dreamers from the doers, the talkers from the achievers, the average from the elite. You see, motivation will get you to the gym, but discipline keeps you there when the weight feels heavy, when your body says no, when your mind tries to negotiate shortcuts. Discipline is the voice that says, "I don't care how you feel, we're doing this anyway." And in the gym, that's everything. Because your muscles don't care about your feelings. They respond only to consistency, effort, and discipline. Champions don't wait until they feel like training. They don't wait until conditions are perfect. They don't make excuses when life throws obstacles at them. They train because it's who they are. It's non-negotiable. Discipline becomes their identity. It's not something they do. It's what they live. Think about it: the greatest physiques, the strongest athletes, the most dominant champions, they weren't built overnight. They were built through countless reps, endless hours, and unshakable commitment. Day after day, they showed up when no one was watching. They made discipline their daily habit, and because of that, their destiny was written in iron and sweat. Discipline is also about the little choices you make when nobody's paying attention. It's what you eat when nobody's watching. It's whether you push for that extra rep when no coach is counting. It's whether you wake up when the alarm rings or hit snooze and promise yourself tomorrow. Discipline is forged in those invisible battles that most people lose because they think no one will know. But you will know. And every time you choose weakness, you rob yourself of greatness. Here's the thing. Discipline doesn't always feel good. It's not glamorous, it's not exciting. Sometimes it's boring, repetitive, even exhausting. But that's exactly why it's powerful. Because while everyone else quits when it gets dull, the disciplined push through. And over time, those small, disciplined decisions add up. They compound into massive results. Discipline isn't just about grinding in the gym, it's about aligning every part of your life with your goals. Sleep, nutrition, recovery, focus, mindset. It all matters. You can't expect to give half discipline and get full results. The body won't allow it. The universe won't reward it. Champions understand that discipline is 24/7. It's a lifestyle, not a hobby. Now, here's the beautiful thing. Once you build discipline, it becomes freedom. Most people think discipline is restriction, but it's the opposite. Discipline frees you from regret, from excuses, from weakness. Discipline gives you control over your life. It allows you to live with pride instead of disappointment. It allows you to walk into the gym with certainty, knowing you've done the work, knowing you've paid the price, knowing you've earned the right to call yourself a champion. Discipline also protects you from your biggest enemy, your emotions, your laziness, your cravings, your doubts. Discipline keeps them in check. It's the armor that guards your vision, the shield that blocks distraction, the weapon that destroys procrastination. Without discipline, you will sabotage yourself. With it, nothing can stop you. At the end of the day, destiny isn't decided by luck, by talent, or by chance. It's decided by discipline. The world belongs to those who can tell themselves yes when it's hard and no when it's tempting. It belongs to those who can sacrifice comfort for progress, excuses for effort, and distraction for focus. So if you want to be a champion, make discipline your DNA. Don't just train your muscles, train your mind, train your habits, train your will. Because discipline is the one thing that will never fail you. It will carry you through the darkest nights, the hardest battles, the longest seasons. Pain is the price of progress. If you want to grow, you must pay the price. And that price is pain. Every champion understands this truth. Progress doesn't come from comfort. It comes from struggle, from sacrifice, from stepping into the fire and refusing to run. Pain is not your enemy. It's your teacher, your guide, your proof that you're alive and pushing past your limits. Most people avoid pain. They run from it. They choose shortcuts, easy paths, and quick rewards. And that's why most people never grow. Because the body, the mind, the spirit, they only evolve under stress. Pain is the signal that you're breaking through, that you're entering a level most people will never touch. In the gym, pain is the burning in your muscles when you push past failure. It's the soreness the next day reminding you that you gave everything. It's the weight that feels impossible until you fight for it with every ounce of willpower. That pain is not punishment, it's progress in disguise. Every rep that hurts is a rep that builds. Every drop of sweat, every ounce of fatigue, every moment of discomfort is an investment in the stronger, sharper, more powerful version of you. But here's the truth. Pain doesn't just shape your body, it shapes your character. When you endure pain, you develop resilience. When you fight through pain, you develop grit. When you embrace pain, you learn that you are stronger than you ever imagined. Champions don't run from pain. They welcome it because they understand that pain is the passport to greatness. Think about it. Diamonds are made under pressure. Steel is forged in fire. Muscles are built by tearing and repairing. Strength comes from struggle, not ease. So why should you be any different? Why should you expect growth without pain, progress without sacrifice, victory without hardship? That's not how greatness works. Greatness demands pain, and only those who are willing to endure it will ever taste it. Now let me be real with you. Pain isn't comfortable. It's not supposed to be. It's supposed to test you, to challenge you, to break down the weak parts of you so the strong parts can rise. Pain will whisper in your ear, "Stop, this isn't worth it." But that's when you must roar back, "This is exactly what makes it worth it." Because when you train your body to endure pain, you also train your mind to handle life. Suddenly setbacks don't crush you, rejection doesn't stop you, failures don't define you. You realize that if you can survive the fire in the gym, you can survive the fire in life. Pain becomes your preparation, your rehearsal, your training ground for every battle outside the weight room. Here's something most people don't understand. The pain you feel now will one day be replaced by pride. That soreness you hate today will be the strength you admire tomorrow. That grind you complain about today will be the glory you celebrate tomorrow. But only if you stay in the fight, only if you pay the full price. Every champion has scars, physical, mental, emotional. Those scars are proof that they didn't quit when it hurt. They didn't stop when it got hard. They leaned into the pain, they embraced it, they learned from it, and they came out stronger. Pain doesn't break champions, it builds them. So when you feel pain, don't ask, "Why me?" Instead ask, "Why not me?" Because this pain is proof that you are alive, that you are growing, that you are chasing something bigger than yourself. This pain is your initiation into the circle of champions. Pain is the price of progress. If you want the reward, you must pay in sweat, in sacrifice, in struggle. And if you can endure the pain, you can endure anything. Born in the dark, shining in the light champions are not built on the stage. They're not created under the bright lights. They're not made in the applause of the crowd. Champions are forged in silence, in sweat, in pain, and in sacrifice. They are built in the dark. Every early morning you dragged yourself to the gym when the world was still asleep. Every late night rep you pushed when your body begged you to stop. Every moment of discipline when you chose the grind over comfort. That's where greatness was born. When the lights finally come on, when the crowd finally sees you, they'll think it was talent. They'll think it was luck. They'll think it was easy, but you'll know the truth. It was the dark hours, the unseen effort, the nights of pain, the mornings of discipline. That's where the real work was done. So never fear the darkness, embrace it, because champions are made in the dark. And one day the light will reveal the monster you've become.